The kids today, man, they grow up so quickly. Jaden Daniels of the Commanders, Bo Nix of the Broncos, they're trying to join C.J. Stroud and Brock Purdy as the only rookie quarterbacks to ever win a playoff game over the last 10 years. Nix's 29 touchdown passes are the second most by a rookie ever. Daniels' QBR this year was fourth among all.
All right, back to the opening weekend across the NFL playoffs where Jaden Daniels and the Commanders and Bo Nix of the Broncos trying to join C.J. Stroud and Brock Purdy as the only rookie quarterbacks to win a playoff game over the last 10 years. Nix's 29 touchdown passes are the second most by a rookie ever. Daniels' QBR this year was fourth among all quarterbacks. Mina Kimes on the latest edition of ESPN's podcast said she went back to look at the film of Jaden Daniels week 1 against Tampa and just shut it off in the middle of the film because he's not the same quarterback. And maybe that's sort of an inclination, Mina, on the type of quarterback we might see tomorrow against these Buccaneers. What do you expect from Jaden?
Yeah, some rematches are relevant, right? We talked about the Week 16 game between Baltimore and Pittsburgh and what it might mean for their playoff game. That Week 1 game, you can throw the tape out the window. It was a rookie quarterback making his first start, and he looked so different from the guy we saw through much of the season, particularly in his ability to diagnose and dissect the blitz, which we know Todd Bowles loves to send extra pressure, particularly against rookie quarterbacks. But by the end of the season, Jaden Daniels was second league-wide in QBR versus the blitz with a QBR of 90. The other thing that jumped out, though, as I looked at this matchup, short passes. This Commanders offense has excelled throwing the ball less than 10 yards, second league-wide in EPA per play. The Bucs defense has been one of the worst in the NFL against those quick, short passes. So I think Washington will have a lot of success on the ground, in large part because the rookie quarterback has matured so quickly.
Making their first career playoff start. What do we expect from Jaden Daniels, who has had a rookie season unlike practically any we've ever seen?
Well, I look at that first game where they matched up, and Jaden took off a ton in that game. And I get it because Todd Bowles in that defense in that first matchup for only 2 catches. Appreciate your Himbo.
Shefty, how about Jaden Daniels getting this first opportunity here?
Well, listen, he has been one of the stories of the season. He has revitalized the game for Washington, and the story of Jaden Daniels would only gain steam if somehow he can find a way to upset the Buccaneers on Sunday.
This is the game that I think could become a shootout. This is a game that I think both teams can get into the 30s because Tampa's offense, we just talked about it, absolutely spectacular. I agree with J-Mac. I think that when it comes to Terry McLaurin, I would find the perimeter players of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and throw the ball a ton on the outside because it's really one of two things. They're going to give you a ton of space, and so the completions are easy. You just get the ball out, or they're going to challenge, and I don't think, in my opinion, that they have the people to run with Terry McLaurin. So I expect kind of in the pass game outside, Washington to kind of get whatever, whenever they want.
It's a fascinating game. Obviously, every weekend or every game this weekend has so many different storylines. We will
Maybe a rookie, but he's looking like a vet. Jaden Daniels had a heck of a season, leading his Commanders to the playoffs in a 12-win season. Now he has to face Baker Mayfield and the Bucs in Tampa. It has been an epic year for Daniels, but which team can make more noise in the playoffs? Danielson, Commanders or Bucs?
I'm going to go Washington. I've gone back and forth on this a ton. I think this is the one game that I think could become a shootout this weekend. Washington won, in part, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is having a year that in many ways rivals what CJ did last year and in some ways eclipses it, and I never thought I would say that. I think that this offense is really starting to understand under Cliff Kingsbury exactly who they want. Him and Terry McLaurin should have a huge weekend. It's one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the playoffs. I think this offensive line performs at a really high clip. The one thing that I have a little bit of hesitation on making me feel like really convicted about this is Marshawn Lattimore. They trade for him. He doesn't play. He finally plays against Philly. He has some good moments. He has some moments that not so good. A.J. Brown, freakazoid. Then he gets hurt again. Like, how impactful is Marshawn Lattimore to the defense? Jonathan Allen's back now. It's a huge challenge against a good Tampa Bay offense. But I just think, like, if those two players, Allen and Lattimore, start to play and they're healthy enough for a little bit of a run, obviously win on the road this weekend, I think Washington could be a very dangerous team because the quarterback is so hot.
I'm going to go with the Bucs just because you mentioned that offense. Like, I think that Baker Mayfield is maybe the most underrated quarterback that's playing right now.
You're my favorite first take person ever.
Oh, is this something that you've been saying a lot?
I mean, some of us at this desk have lauded Baker Mayfield, but haven't.
I think I know where Stephen A. stands
I have
on that.
lauded him, but don't listen.
The man is tied for second in touchdowns. Like he has what 41
He was a little
touchdowns.
late to the party. He started.
The offense is fantastic. Now I get it.
To believe it.
It's very scary watching a Bucs team that really had to rally to beat a Saints team that was playing for absolutely nothing just to make the postseason. But you sort of outlook who they would play next to, should they get past Washington, be Philadelphia, a team that they boat raced earlier in the season as well. I like them, I think, to make a little bit of a run, plus they just have that postseason pedigree. Jaden Daniels, by the way, playing absolutely incredible and out of his mind, but I just trust Baker in those big moments more because he's been there.
I'm going to go with you with Tampa. See, I paused and I reacted the way that I reacted because this is what he does. So he sits up there and he says, well, you know, I asked the Commanders. And he goes through all of this stuff about the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels and everything else. He brings up a couple of players. He says, I just believe. And then you go the opposite direction. Oh, you're my favorite person. You know what I'm saying? It just completely wipes out everything that you did.
No, it doesn't, because she said something positive about Baker.
Baker Mayfield. First of all, I did say something positive about Mayfield. Matter of fact, I pointed out the fact that not only is he having a great season, but he took $33 million. His career was in jeopardy. When he departed from Cleveland, then he ultimately ended up in Carolina and stuff like that. We looked at him, we said, this brother might be finished. And for him to go to Tampa Bay and to play the way that he's been playing, I can't say enough about Baker Mayfield. I think he's not only turned his game around, I think he's turned his life around.
Amen.
Baker Mayfield, he deserves a lot of credit, a lot of props. And guess what? I think that Tampa Bay, you know, I could be wrong because I'd rather see more of Jaden Daniels, to be honest with you.
Sure.
Because I just think 3,500 plus yards, nearly 1,000 yards rushing, over 800 yards rushing, actually. The guy, what he has done this year, in every single big play that it seemed that needed to be made, he was the one who made it for the Commanders this year. So he's a guy I want to see. It's just that I'm looking at the seasoned Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coached by Todd, with Mike Evans there and the crew. I'm just in a mindset. I just got something. There's just something in me that's telling me the Commanders 1-4 this year versus fellow playoff teams this season. I just think
You have
this
a
is one of those
feeling.
games.
It's a little bit of your
I
intuition.
think it's Baker Mayfield. I think they win this game.
I think it's a good game. I really do. I think Tampa also has two guys that we don't talk about enough. I mean, Washington, it really has felt. Jaden Daniels and McLaurin. Bucky Irving and McMillan are studs. I mean, Bucky Irving is a superstar in the making in Tampa Bay. I think he reminds me a lot of like Brian Westbrook from the old school Eagles, just shifty, low to the ground, strong. Washington's offense should have its way against Tampa's defense. Tampa's defense plays a ton of zone. Jaden should have a ton of completions. I do think, though, the who you play after. So if Washington wins, they more than likely have to go to Philly, right? More than likely. That would be unless the Rams.
Commanders.
Or no, unless the Vikings win.
Commanders this year, their one win against one of their fellow playoff teams was against the Eagles, who didn't have Jalen Hurts.
Right, they lost
to Tampa,
that's
Baltimore,
late in the game.
Pittsburgh, and Philly.
Yeah.
Can I go back to a point that Dan made, though, about Jaden Daniels and he could surpass? I think he already has surpassed C.J. Stroud's rookie campaign. Not statistically, the stats are there, and I know that C.J. won a playoff game, but even though they were in rebuild mode last year, the Texans, they were just a few years away from like DNA in their winning DNA in their blood with Deshaun Watson. Like they had been a team that had won. What Jaden Daniels has been able to do on a team that has basically new ownership, almost an entirely new front office, new head coach, new coordinators. He's doing I think that it is an absolutely remarkable thing that he's done.
I agree.
You go on the field, C.J. Stroud last year, 3 game-winning drives. Jaden has 4 game-winning drives, and I think personally 2 of the best game-winning drives that we've seen all season long.
They lucked up against Chicago with the Hail Mary. We know that.
Call it luck, but there was some touch on that pass, right? Like, you got to get it there. We never call it luck when it's Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre doing it.
You got a defender turning his back to the offense because he's talking to the crowd. That didn't help. And then tip the ball into the receiver's hand for them to win the game.
This was a Commanders team that hadn't had a double-digit winning season since 2012.
That's right.
Yeah.
12 wins back in the postseason. Like, I don't care what he does from
Best
here on
season
out.
since Joe Gibbs was coaching.
Exactly. I don't care if he gets boat raced by the Bucs. I already think that what Jaden Daniels has been able to do is one of the greatest rookie campaigns we've seen.
That's a big comment. It is. I don't. And 7 o'clock
C.J.
this morning.
Stroud was just so exciting.
Yeah, so is Jaden.
Jaden's really exciting too.
The thing that
You haven't seen Jaden.
Yeah, but I just feel like C.J. Stroud, there was just even more buzz. I feel like people didn't expect it, and I know they didn't expect it with Jaden and the Commanders as well. Just throwing that out there.
The thing with CJ, it's happened differently. Like CJ, and I said this all year, it was a mirage
Dan,
because
I'm getting yelled at. I'm sorry. I re-teed it up and we had to go to break. It's me. I got involved and I screwed up the segment. I'm sorry.
She's the problem. It's her.
It's me. Coming up, guys. Micah Parsons. I'm really sorry.
Prepare yourself. Be ready. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself.